This short demonstration is to show you the NeuShield feature that allows a user to recover their device when it becomes either inoperable or has blue screened. Now, as you can see at the bottom, I already have NeuShield Data Sentinel installed on my machine, and it's running quite happily in the background. For this demonstration, I'm going to use a testing tool called Not My Fault 64, which comes from Microsoft and allows Microsoft and other engineers to do testing on their system. So my machine has been running for a number of days, and I know that NeuShield has taken its standard images once every 24 hours of my overall device systems, application, operating systems, and settings. To start this demonstration, I'm going to open the Not My Fault application and I'm going to take it to hang. And I'm going to use hang with DPC. And the key part within this, as you can see from the explanation notes, it will cause my system to hang. So when I click here, as I have done now, I'm now trying to click on any element within my desktop that I have, or for instance, in my file explorer, and nothing is happening. My system now is totally unresponsive. Now, this also means that there are no network connections that a systems IT specialist will be able to dial in and resolve the issue. What would normally happen now is that because I'm unable to get any remote connection or connection to the internet, I would need to run a new ISO image against this system or recover it. So that can take time. But what we're doing with NeuShield is showing that actually the user can recover the system prior to when the incident happens. The blue screen or the unresponsive system could be down to a malware attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the normal Windows recovery procedure. As I'm using a virtual machine, my on-off button that I would normally use on my physical device is replaced with this button at the top. So as I turn it off, you'll see it stopping, and then I ask it to restart. Now, the normal process for this with Windows is to do this between 2 to 4 times. And when you're doing this, it means that you are forcing the system to go through its recovery process. So here, when the Hyper-V sign has appeared, I stop it and I turn it off. And I continue to do this. As I say, it could take 3 to 4 attempts for the system. But now what I'm waiting for is this message at the bottom, which is preparing automatic repair. And that's the normal process that Windows would go through and start doing its diagnosis of the PC and looking for solutions for it to use to recover your system. Now, this is all going on in the background. And remember, a user, normal non-IT specialist, is not technically competent in most cases to do any sort of detailed technical work. So what we're doing is allowing Windows to run as normal. It's now looking for solutions. It's tried to connect to the network, as I say, with an unresponsive system. The network connection is not there, and you'll now see that the problem couldn't be repaired. So what we now do is just simply press enter, and we go into troubleshoot. That is available for it. And when we go into the troubleshoot area, we look at advanced options. This is very simple because in instructions, you can tell them which ones to go to and which ones not. We're going to click on System Restore here. Now, this is where the device would normally look to use a recovery image of the OS and applications and settings. So this is Windows in the background. Now, what you can find here straight away is that we have both a Windows update that was performed on this device 2 days ago, but I have a NeuShield image. Now, this says a data engram. It's a virtual shadow copy of the entire operating system application settings that I've got on my system. Now, when we do that, you could also look to go further back if available. And if I click at the bottom here, you will see there are other elements here, but they're going too far back for me. So I stay with this, and what I do is select next, and it's now saying going through a normal Windows process, but using the NeuShield image as, in effect, its ISO image. Remember, this is all up to date. I don't need to restore this, then apply patches to it, or add additional updates that are coming from the Windows or Microsoft system. So this system now is running, and it's running quite happily through the system. Remember, we've only been doing this roughly about 2 or 3 minutes at this point, and the system's already working because the NeuShield image will work a lot faster in Windows recovery than if you were to attempt to attach a USB drive to it, or a CD, or, as I say, waiting for somebody to supply you with an ISO image, or having to send back your device back to your IT department and them sending you a new one. If you imagine you are in a critical situation and this happens, you could be at an airport waiting to fly somewhere for an important meeting. You could be in a meeting itself, but your system suddenly hangs. You've got no responsiveness. It could mean the difference between success of that meeting or that process that you are currently going through. So it could be time critical. And within this system itself, we now allow NeuShield to operate. So here I'm just going to allow it to continue to run quite happily in the background. Keep in mind, the user is doing nothing. One of the key benefits of NeuShield is that the user, who could be inexperienced in technical capability of a device, does not want to need to be going in and understanding commands and processes. We allowed the system to run by itself. Anybody who's familiar with a normal one-click restore with NeuShield understands that it literally is what it says. You click one-click restore and it will recover your environment with no intervention by the user until NeuShield's been successful and has brought your system back to an operating system that you can now operate within. You will see that this has now said my system has completed successfully the restore. Now, overall, that probably started somewhere around about 4 minutes to do that. Now, given that my machine that I'm using is a virtual machine, one, it's going to run slow, so we expect it faster. But two, I haven't got a great workload on this. This is about showing the capability of the system, i.e. NeuShield, to bring the environment back again where you need it. And here is the operator now going back into the system as they normally would. And again, it said that the restore was successful and what the time is and the timestamp that actually happened to the system prior to that. And one point, if anybody's really, really detailed, they notice not my fault 64 application isn't showing on this. And the reason for that is that I actually put that on the desktop afterwards, after that snapshot of my image was taken. So it's brought me back to it. Yeah, I know the application still exists on my system, but it's not showing on the desktop that's in place. So I hope that's been enlightening for you and shown you an example of how an unresponsive or blue screen environment can be recovered by NeuShield, by the user, um, quickly and very, very efficiently. Thank you very much indeed.